Well, welcome everyone. I'm Del Hornbuckle and broadcasting live from sunny Fresno. Welcome to the third episode of mini.Futures podcast. It's a podcast showcasing the amazing past of miniatures and dollhouses, but also looking to the future and where the art and inspiration is going. But this is the first of my scale model artist interviews, and I'm thrilled to welcome Markus O to the show. Markus is an inspiring miniaturist and photographer living and working in Cologne, Germany. Having studied architecture helps him balance two artistic worlds that I'm really intrigued by, and he's successfully balancing. He has a keen eye, and there's the photography world, and he creates really exquisite scale models of Cologne and surrounds, really beautiful, incredible urbanscapes. So please join me in welcoming Markus. Welcome, Markus. How are you? Please
Hi there.
pronounce your last name. I
Fine,
didn't
thank you.
dare try and butcher it.
Okay,
So
over here
no,
you would
pronounce your
say
last name.
Oechelhaeuser. Oechelhaeuser. Yeah, so that's the same problem over here. So that was also the reason to make some kind of shortcut, because it was sure no one will pronounce it or in the correct way, or maybe also type it in the right way. So yeah, Markus Oechelhaeuser.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay, so let's jump
that's
right
it.
into it. Let's get into it. So, tell me about Markus O, yourself, your background, what you do for a living. How did the miniature bug bite you?
Um, I'm working as an engineer on an airport over here. And so this is my basic income. And I got to this hobby. In the beginning, I was an architect. So architects build models. You have to build models, and that was also always the nicest part of the work, to do the models. And after a while, I got a daughter, and she is crazy on Schleich. This is this horse stuff with a scale around 120, 125. And so it started with building toys. And that was the beginning. And after that, there was the idea for me to see what is the limit. Because when you do toys, you have to take care that it's not too small, too fiddly, that it can break, whatever. And so the idea was, I would like to try how far can you go with my skills. And so I started doing scale models. And now it's the first time. I started last year for me. And so it's not over the last years it was just the toys, and now I started the scale stuff for me with Cologne. Motives, then this
Well,
was the idea to start with, we say, Cologne corners, like famous known places.
no, go ahead,
The
please.
origin was just, I have my another account of the photography stuff, and that is Markus O Cologne. And so that was just for me to cut between the model stuff and the photography stuff. And so that was not really creative. It was just Markus O, the model account, and the other stuff is Markus O and the photography account. So that's quite easy. Not really creative, but it's okay.
To those two worlds I'm thinking of. Well, you live in Cologne, Germany. I've never visited. We were just talking about the cities I have visited in Germany. How does the city influence your art? Please talk about the city, what it means to you, and are there specific areas of the city that inspire you more than others?
Um, I'm not born in Cologne, so I was coming to Cologne over my study, and then I got caught by the city. But because if you come to Cologne, it's really a little bit different, maybe than other areas. People are really open-minded. The city is not really nice because it was nearly up to 70% destroyed during the war. And so a lot of the structure is lost and was rebuilt in the 50s. And so the city is changing in a lot of places. And so you really lose also places you love, like with, yeah, nice pubs and whatever. And such buildings are lost or going away, like the Roxy. So that was the beginning. I built. It's a and so for me the interesting part is places with stories behind or places where people have special emotions and where something is not but something is maybe happening in the city because this is a city and for me it's not just building a house or a facade. I like to get in places with a story behind. It's like doing the photo stuff. Like if you do a photo, you also try to fix one moment, and in best case, in some way, you are in an exchange with the photo, with a story behind, or with the human in the photo, or with the place. And so it's the same for me with the buildings. And yeah, it's it's a beginning, I think. We'll see. We have different places over here. You have this, really hard changing areas where a lot of new stuff is built, and where a lot of places are getting down. And I think, like in every city, and so it's not a specific part of Cologne I'm looking at. It's just places I know, or maybe places I see, or maybe places I explore sometimes also over street artists and so on.
You're actually, Marcus, you're representing two worlds orbiting each other. I keep teasing you about that. Of course, miniature art, photography, and now my also writing, including music. Or is it just it's
No,
miniature art?
no, not
Again,
music.
I'm sort of I was really kind of combing. Yeah, that's what I thought. Right, great, great, great. So that's awesome. So how do they influence or complement each other?
Um, yeah, I think on the one way, it's some kind of I liked to how I look at things, and this is really often seeing in details. If you do scale modeling, it's for me seeing in details. It's another view, another pair of glasses, but it's like you can see on my photos, it's often about symmetry. It's often to find this one point of view, and it's similar to doing scale models. Complete different discipline, but I think it's a similar way of seeing something for me. Yeah. And on the other side, it's really interesting. Then now I started in the last autumn to try to do photos of the models because in the moment we have this corona shit, and so it's quite difficult to show models, and this tiny stuff is not even easy on photos because it's really difficult to transport all the details. And so I try to find ways how to do it in the best way. And so I'm still working on this also to show better pictures, bigger pictures, and again I have two disciplines. And in the basic
Yes,
thing,
yes, yes.
it's a great it's a hobby. So I have a lot of fun of this, and it's for me it's some kind of brain yoga. And the one stuff I can do inside, and the other stuff I can do outside. And so when I'm on tour, when I'm traveling, it's mainly photography. When I'm here, okay, and I'm sitting here and doing the models.
Well, this is so inspiring, and
Yeah,
what's really interesting, how we're all being inspired during this whole crazy pandemic. People are really creating. If you really
yeah,
pay attention to, particularly, we're all on Instagram in this community, kind of this bubble, and people are just churning out amazing work. So that's absolutely.
yeah,
But
absolutely.
some listeners may not be familiar with scale model or scratch bills. So please explain what it means and why you work in this process. You've touched on it. Also, share what you work with in terms of materials and share your creative and technical process.
Yeah. Um, And the first way we scale for me is I'm used to build models in scale because that is my way over the architecture, where you create a sketch, then you have an idea about a building, and then you start to build models just to test the sketches and to test the whole geometric stuff. And so this is similar for me now. When I see something scale is for me when it's close to, it's like the original building or the original place. Scale is every brick is on the right position, and you can count the bricks. And when it's made good for me, you can see the stone on the picture and you can see the stone on the model is really in the same position. Same over graffiti or whatever. So this is for me the highest possible level of detailing. That would be for me scale modeling, or my view on scale modeling. And to do this, it's for me, with a wide range of materials. It's plaster, it's wood, it's brass, it's the whole, wide area of colors. If it's aquarelle, it's acrylic stuff, is it whatever, chalk. And so just with one target, and this is to create it as it's as original as possible. And so the start for me is if it's around here, I take the camera and I really make maybe 100, 200 pictures of a building. After this, I correct the pictures and try to measure the whole dimensions, starting a sketch, and after the sketch, I start the building process with most times it's a main structure out of MDF, and then a layer of plaster, and then the details with brass. But also, since beginning of the year, I also started with 3D printing, and also to do small stuff in a quality you nearly can't do with your own hands.
Yeah, your work evokes so much with the buildings and the facades you create, and the condition of the buildings. And I love this. There's kind of a city grit and beautiful
Yeah,
urbanscapes to all of it, and it's so beautifully detailed and very specific. And you touched on this, but I want to ask it in a different way. Why not the historical buildings? And I know you kind of said that maybe there's a lack of them, but I think in terms of aesthetically, why not historical areas or buildings, I guess, or old houses, older parts of the city, or if
yeah.
you can find that.
Like I said, it's for me not just the building or the nice facade or the old building. For me, it's the urban life you can see on these places. I don't know. Do you know this? It's an old toilet. um, it's a small door situation I built with a small girl, red girl holding a balloon, I think, something like this. A girl from behind, with a bucket. And this is now a toilet. We see it's nearly completely rotten, destroyed, whatever. And then you go or you pass this place, and then you have this small eye catcher of this beautiful girl. And this is for me such a building, like you would never look at this ugly place, but because of the fact that there's a nice place up, this is a nice urban place. And so I think in a city, these are really nice places, important places, because if you walk around with open eyes, you can walk like on an open air gallery with a lot of art if you like this stuff. And so I think these places get a real special atmosphere by this art stuff. And so it was a real fast idea to rebuild this place. And I got in contact with the artist, and he said, "Yeah, that was really nice. Would really be nice if you do it." And that was an interesting contact to start also, rebuild these street arts places. And so a lot of ideas for the next projects over this first thing. And so we'll see what's coming next or what I'm about building next. I don't know. And this is for me, this is urban life. It's not such a clean building or a new building like I built through over my architecture I had to do. And it's old, rotten, atmospheric places with a story behind. And this is what I like.
What was the hardest part getting started with this art? Um, what do you wish you'd known something before getting started if you had a chance to do it all over again?
No. So I had this chance to, I think I can work with my hands. So I had an idea about the process of how can I build such things. And so I would say it's every time learning again, is every time again thinking about how can I do this better. But it wasn't really difficult. So yes, when I look back, I would say, okay, I can change the way now because I learned different things over the last project. But I think I can say it in 5 years again because I still think if you go into details, you still learn every day something new with every project.
Yes.
If I look on the first project, I every time can say, okay, today I would do it different. And I would do it better or more detailed. And so it's not something for being pride. It's more look at the things and say, yeah, that's okay. I can live with this. But I still see things which are not in the way I would like to have them, and maybe also in relation to the time. Like I say, okay, this is an early thing, and I can see the way where I started and I see where I'm now. And so I think this is really important for me that it's a dynamic, growing process of getting better. And this is the challenge, and this is the complete thing I like at this complete. It's a challenge for me, for myself, for my own eye to build something and you're sitting in front of this stuff and you're really enjoyed by the work you've done.
Well, sure. When pride points are just, share any highlights, any favorite pieces, experiences, and also with scale models, do you have commissioned work, or is it just your thing, your love for creating scale models?
Um, it's um, I think one really nice side, starting with the models and now also starting with the street art stuff, which I really like because it's something special. I don't know. Have you seen these things? I think on my website you can see bigger pictures, and I will send you also some else. Um, the real interesting, nice thing on doing these models was to get in contact with the artists. And over this way, it was inspiring because suddenly you are in contact with people from complete different discipline. These are graffiti sprayers, or these are people doing paste ups or stencils or whatever. And so this, for me, was quite interesting to get in this process, to get into the scenes, to meet people or to get in contact, which is a little bit, yeah, also I think, based in these times that most contacts are still just over internet, over Instagram or telephone, whatever, and not really physical. And this is really a little bit strange. Commissioned work, till now, I just sold, I think, one door. I think the main problem in the moment is I cannot show my things. There should be some exhibitions in the last year, and every single one was cancelled. So I think maybe 10 people in real life has seen my stuff. And
Oh, wow.
hopefully it will change in the next year. And same to commissioned works. I would like to. I have requests now, first requests. We'll see if something is coming, if something is getting real. But till now, it's just doing the toys for my daughter, and on the other side, it's the stuff doing for me. And sometimes as presents for friends. That also.
Uh, well, we're about to see light at the end of the tunnel. I think. I think globally, I think we're with the vaccines.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
hoping.
Yeah, absolutely.
So maybe by the end of the year. Sure,
Yeah,
sure. Well, what has social media done
yeah, I think
for
so.
Markus O Mod? What are other ways you engage with the arts community? You've kind of touched on that. I think it sounds like there's a very vibrant scene in your city.
I got in contact to the street art scene over a friend. So that was the first time that I met these people, made photos on different actions they have done. And so also one of the first project was a project I built for a friend of mine, and a paste up he placed on on a concrete structure of a bridge. And one day I made photos of this place, and later on I rebuilt this stuff as his first scale model, and it was a present for him. And so that was the first step to get in contact with the street art. And the other things is like over Instagram you get in contact, you see pictures like for example Ken Plotbot. Maybe you've seen really dark motives, dark thematic things I really like, and this is real just over social media. I like to contact the artist first to request, is it okay if I use your picture to place it on my model? And on this way, you get in contact, and this is really interesting and inspiring to see who made this pic, why did he made this pic, and what is the background of the person or the place where they have
Mhm.
made this street art stuff. And this is really, really nice exchange. And I hopefully will meet different people in closer future, because I'm really interested to see these people doing this stuff and also to talk in real. That would be nice.
Well, who out there also doing scratch built artwork or just similar replicas of urbanscapes, buildings, etc.,
Yeah.
in 120 scale that you really admire, or just in general, working with miniatures? And who should we check out?
Oh, I think if you start with one artist, for example, Joshua Smith from Melbourne, um, great one and unbelievable. Cheng Hank, also really known. And if you start in the beginning by following these people, you see more and more people doing really crazy stuff, and there are so much people with mini scale stuff, where it is really nice to see how colorful and diverse this scene is, from scales, from thematic things, from just the where you see how much time, how much love, how much passion is in this project, and this is really really nice. And so I cannot say just five because I would say five artists because I would say I forget all the others. And so if you start to look at different people and you follow the line, you will meet and see so good made stuff. This is really unbelievable. I really enjoy this. And sometimes it's really dangerous to take a look into Instagram because you lose a lot of hours, but on the other side, it's
Yes.
also really inspiring. And there's also this really nice stuff
Yes.
that over this medium, you get in contact with these people, you ask or you get asked how have you done this stuff, which colors are you using, um, and so this is really a nice scene and really open-minded scene, and I really enjoy this, especially in this
Yes.
time
Yes.
where you have rare social contacts. You cannot get outside and meet with a lot of people like last year. Um, you have to hold it contacts also on a virtual base, and this is possible with this media. And yeah, like I said, you get a lot of ideas and a lot of information about techniques, colors, and whatever you want. That's
Yes.
really nice.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. There's so much criticism of social media. And it's so interesting during this time how it's really forcing us to improvise and we're making connections and creating other ways of connecting, getting connected, staying
Yeah,
connected, and a connectedness. As a result of this pandemic, I really think it's great. I'm paying attention to that absolutely on Instagram. You're absolutely right. You get lost in it, but what I am seeing in terms of the creative output is it's astounding. So, yeah.
yeah, it is. I still have the problem, or I see for myself the problem that it's still a big difference to see the stuff live and to see it
Hmm.
on photos. There's a big loss of quality and on impressions, but yeah, to see new stuff, to see new people, to get ideas, it's quite good, and especially in the contents in the context to get information, to get ideas in a I think small scene. It's not so big. Is it a real nice pool to contact people, to stay in contact, to change informations, and I really love this. I love this. Yeah,
Well, yeah, I was just going to ask you.
yeah.
Obviously, your daughter is a great inspiration and kind of got you out the gate there. But who's helped you get here and able to live your passion?
Um, I think in the beginning, my father laid a base of different, yeah, techniques of craftsmanship and doing things with my hands, like working with wood, working with metal, repair a car, repair a complete house, or build a house, or whatever. And on the other side, then the study where you had to build models. And so I think it's a process. And a lot of people think they get mad when they do such fiddly stuff. And for me, it's some kind of brain yoga. It's like you get in the flow, you have a nice time, and you are deeply relaxed. And I think this is, for me, the love to do this because I really get down with this work. And so I don't care if sometimes things have to I have to rebuild three, four, five times till I get the result I want to have or I expect by myself. And so it's always a challenge getting better and try to find a solution to get the result I expect. And this is the
Yes.
engine.
It's so enlightening. So enlightening. Well, what is one common myth about miniatures? What do you have to say to dispel it?
I think if you say I'm doing miniatures, it sounds nerdy, and I'm really careful. I'm not in the first moment taking my phone and showing, hey, this is what I do. Um, the first reaction is most times people don't have an idea, and when they see the stuff, they are most times really amazed. Some people say, okay, you're completely mad to do this small stuff, but really um, yeah, most people are really amazed when they see the stuff in life. When they suddenly have a small burger in their hand or a small ash tree or whatever, and they see, yeah, this is done by my hands. And this is really nice. So most times it takes a little bit time. And but if people see it in real, most times my experience showed that they don't see it so nerdy like maybe in the first moment because they just think, yeah, a big man who is doing small stuff like doing with toys, and then they realize, no, it's not a toy, it's something completely different.
Right. I think that's the biggest myth to dispel. That it's they may be inspired by children. You talked about your daughter and her love of horses, but it's
Yeah,
absolutely not child's play.
no. Or on the other side, when when you do the toys, for me most times out of brass, then you have an excellent toy, which is yeah, where people are really amazed, like, "Whoa, you have toys. This is amazing!" And to see the kids smile, this is most times also this kind of engine, and that was also, I think, a real important scene in the beginning. Like I was laying close to my daughter, and we were looking on a stable she had, and she looked on a small fence or a small structure. And then she said to me, Dad, this is not in scale. And then, so, yeah, I know what you mean. And then we started this project and took 3 months and kilos of brass. And the result is a stable, which is really nice and which is high detailed, but still completely in the toy um, mode and is played every day and it's still working, nothing is breaking. This is really nice. And so, yeah, in this way, when people see this stuff and then realize that is, or these are things I'm doing, then it's maybe not so freaky like in the first beginning when you say, hey, I'm doing miniatures. Yeah.
Right. Well, what are you up to now? What's on the horizon? Any projects underway?
Yeah, in the moment, it's a really famous pub in Cologne, Lomi. It's an old building that's a real old building, which was nearly completely destroyed during the war, just a basement, and the next floor was still existing. And then they just made the basic things on the building and put a pub inside. And this pub is still existing today. And that's such a amazing urban place with a lot of stories. And so I started this building and nearly finished. And so this is like the nice story I got over this project was getting in contact with someone who said, Markus, if you're thinking about selling this project, please contact me because my grandfather was a sparring partner of the old inhabitor. My father married in this pub, or they had a party for the marriage. And my father liked to go there every week to eat um, a steak and drink a beer once a week before Corona. So for me and for our family, this is a real special place and connected to the history of our family. And this is exactly that what I mean with places with a story. And so this is my actual project, and
Yes.
it's getting really fine. I really like this. It's really nice. So this is
That's a
next
beautiful
in
story.
parallel. I still, yeah. So absolutely, and for me, it's also I have a bond to my buildings, and in such with such a story, it was for me like, okay, I think we have to stay in contact, and yeah, I think you're the right owner of this project afterwards. So we'll see if we come to a solution to change the LOMI and exchange. And the next projects, I still have a lot of ideas, more ideas than I maybe can build. I still have some toy projects actual over here. I still have ideas of street art projects. So yeah, a lot of ideas, a lot of photos, and next time again, I started with doors. I also like the idea to have a line on the wall just with small wall doors where you can find different kind of street art. If it's paste ups or tags or whatever. Subways, for example, are also such an idea just to make this absolute detailed scale model of a wagon cut through the length so that you just have a small stripe, maybe over half a meter, and then looking for great graffitis on such trains, and that it's there in the corner like a big picture, but it's a 3D picture, and behind a real picture of a train who really exists, by done by whoever, by some street artists, graffiti people. We'll see. I don't know. A lot of ideas.
And you're building just a phenomenal body of work. That's what I'm paying attention to. I see it coming, and it's absolutely just riveting. Beautiful, beautiful. Well, do you have any
Thanks.
final
Yeah.
thoughts or anything to share? Any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Not really. I think it's every time process. I just can, a lot of ideas. If someone has some questions, just get in contact over Instagram. Just write to me, write to other people. It's such an open, nice, colorful scene. I just can, everybody say, if you would like to do something like this, just get in contact, just start your project, and it's great. That's all I can say to this.
Thank you so much. This has been just so enlightening, and I really love your work, Marcus.
Thanks.
I was drawn to it on Instagram, and that's how we made our connection. So this has been a pleasure. Well, everyone, that's all the time we have for this episode. Please check out my blog site, mini.Futures.blog, for more images of Marcus's beautiful work. And be sure to follow me also on Instagram at Crafted Homes Inc. Marcus, before we go, please share all the ways that folks can connect with you.
Yeah, I started a website. That's also a project. I need more time for this also to show the pics or the impressions in a bigger size than just of Instagram. You will find the link on my Instagram account, and this is Markus. How do you say the line, the downline? What do you
Oh,
say to this?
underscore,
Markus O Mod underscore
underscore,
Markus
underscore.
underscore O underscore Mod. And over this you can find me. Or the other way is directly over the website, which is titled by Nunc, N-U-N-C .space. And there's a known area for the miniatures, and quite easier to spell. Nunc .space with impressions, bigger pictures.
Beautiful, beautiful pictures. Yeah. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure again, Markus. Thank you so much. Please join me next time for an interview with Christopher Robin Nordstrom of Tokyo Build, also a beautiful scale model artist.
And he's really doing
Yes.
great things. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. It was a pleasure. Hopefully it was not so ugly English. You could follow. And yeah, thank you for your
No, it was
request.
fine. This is a phenomenal
Good.
experience, and it was my pleasure. It's really my pleasure. Okay, so be safe,
Same to me.
everyone, and
Okay.
thanks again. Take care.
Have a nice time. Bye.